Morning, folks. John here, wearing my fire safety hat today, and I wanted to go through with you the workings of our fire alarm and what the different sensors do and what they mean and how they work and how to turn them on, how to turn them all off, and how to turn them back on again if need be. First of all, this one here, the company's called Xsense, and it's an app on the phone as well, but this square one in my hand now is the Xsense base station. And when this light goes blue, our whole system is connected through our network as one alarm. So what effectively happens is, if an alarm goes off, we have a few different kinds of sensors. We've got these main ones here, is a smoke alarm. These are small round ones. These kind of ones with the little bump in the middle of them, and they're a bit larger. These are heat alarms, usually placed over electrical appliances, over fuse boxes, heavy duty lights, etc. They indicate a heat tolerance. Once it's passed, these go into alarm. These ones here are smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, and they also speak. This one speaks English. One of them, I think, only speaks German, because we're working to throug approval here. So obviously they have to have approval from throug, which is the authority that approves safety standards here in Germany. This one here is a standalone. It's not on the network. It's a standalone carbon monoxide level. These are usually in studios, in the cinema, places like that. They detect doses of carbon monoxide. If it goes over a certain tolerance, these go off. But for all intents and purposes, these three are the ones we want to concentrate, particularly this one. This is a smoke alarm. So what happens is, if this detects smoke for any reason, whether it's a fire, whether it's a smoke machine, whether it's a cigarette, this will detect it, and it will activate this alarm. And once this alarm goes off, it signals to the base station here. It signals to the base station that there's an alarm specifically located, and each one of these are located on the app, and the app is on the phone. So it says Film Tech up on the top, Film Tech Catalyst, or if I want to check Catalyst Music, that's the list of sensors up on the music floor. So I'm kind of monitoring both music and Film Tech, which you can do if you want as well. Each one of the sensors is listed along here. There's a base station. There's each one of the smoke alarms. There's smoke alarm mix 5, mix 2, mix 4, mix 1, mix 3. You don't have to read these. There's a combination alarm. That's this one. Most of them are just this one. This is the fire alarm. They're the most frequently used and probably the most essential to leave alone. These CO2 monitors are not on this network because they don't need to be. The heat alarms are, so the heat alarms are on the app as well. So, like for instance, here's a heat alarm, and it is the heat alarm, the stage kitchen, which is this kitchen. So if you want, I can do a device test. Do a device test, hit that, and you're going to hear a loud noise now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. Okay, device tested, device done. That's it. So you can see it's all working through this app and through this. Now, for instance, if you want to set off an alarm drill, let's just go to the combination alarm here. So we set off an alarm drill. Here's the combination alarm. I'm not actually going to press the alarm drill because that's the alarm there. If it goes off, I'd really have to have ear covering, so I'm not going to set it off. But I'm going to go through the motions here for you. First of all, there's the name, which is the combination alarm. The location is the admin office on the ground floor. Device test is like we did on a heat alarm just a second ago. Alarm drill is alarm drill. So let's just do that. And then CO2, carbon monoxide history, and then the event history. It'll give you whether it's ever been triggered, if it's gone off, if the CO2 alarm has ever. It'll tell you how it's functioned with carbon monoxide, etc., and notifications. So the alarm drill, let's just go into this. We're not going to set off this alarm drill, but just so you know. So on this, it says on top, alarm drill, device, select device, it's a combination alarm. That just happens to be the first one. Select alarm type. It's a smoke triggered or carbon monoxide, CO alarm triggered or smoke alarm triggered. We'll go smoke alarm triggered. Then the time section goes from 30, 60, 90 seconds, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I recommend if you're doing an evacuation in earnest or a drill, you should set it to one of these functions here. You can always turn it off if you think everybody's out. But if you walk into a situation where it's not safe for either you or anybody else to be in anywhere near that alarm, then you got to set off the alarm, and this is how you're going to do it. So it's going to go for 30 seconds, and then you press the alarm drill, and it'll trigger the alarm as we've just shown. What if you don't have this app? Say you're one of the techs, you're on duty. You don't have access to the app. How do you go about setting off an evacuation alarm? So there's an answer for that. It's this. It's a Rauch Melder test spray, and it says test spray on it. And basically what you do is, it's a spray like an aerosol, any other aerosol. I'm not going to do this, but what you do is you point it at the alarm, wherever it is, point it at it, spray it, give it a couple of seconds, it will activate the alarm you've just sprayed it into. This alarm will activate the base station. The base station will then activate all the alarm on this floor. And you've then sequenced an alarm that can only be turned off either by going to the remote control, to the base station, knock it off that way, or knock it off through the app. We are now in the FilmTech fire station, just inside the right-hand door of FilmTech. And what we're looking at here is a combination alarm, which we demonstrated to you earlier on. There's a fire extinguisher here, and there's the test spray. So we give you a demo of the test spray. What this is for is if you don't have access to an app and you don't, you want to set off an evacuation event. In other words, you want everybody out of here, and the alarm on the whole system, on the whole FilmTech floor is, what you're doing is you're taking this spray, like any aerosol spray it in there. I'm not going to do it because it'll set off a house-wide alarm on this floor. So spray it in there. This one will notify the base station. The base station will then, within 30 seconds, the whole house will be alarmed, and the whole alarm will keep going until you turn it off again. That's it. So leave them in place if you would. Leave them within a place where you can see them. And as it says up there, emergency use only, please. Thank you. What if there's no network? If there's no network, well, we don't really have a base station, but we do actually have a fire alarm. And each one of these are independent fire alarms. I've taken the battery out of this because if you touch that button at the side with a battery in it, it sends off quite a 80 decibel sound. But there's a CR2 10-year battery in these, and so each one of these, the heat alarms and the combination alarms, they're all powered with a 10-year battery. If there's smoke detected, even without a network, which is extremely rare around here, the alarm will be triggered anyway. So that's it. Not the house-wide alarm, just the individual alarm where a sensor picks up some smoke. So thanks for listening, and any questions you have, please get in touch, give us some response on this. We'll have to do another one for our safety exits. We'll do that in another video. Thanks very much.